London-listed mining and exploration group First Class Metals, Epicode FCM, manages 7 100% owned properties located within the highly mineralized and prospective Hemlo Greenstone Belt in Ontario, Canada. This includes the company's flagship North Hemlo property, an own and joint venture with TSX-listed Palladium One on the West Pickle Lake nickel, copper, and sulfide project. Late last year, the company signed an option to purchase an 8th property, the historic high-grade Sunbeam mine, also in northwest Ontario. Now, I'm joined today by Chief Executive Marc Sale, live from the Deutsche Goldmesse show in Frankfurt, Germany. Hello, Marc. How are you today, and how is the show?
Hi, Alan. It's pretty frenetic, to be honest. This is the third interview I've done so far today, and I've given several face-to-face presentations, and I've got my main presentation in the hall shortly after we finish. So it's been pretty full on. I've earned my lunch today.
You've earned your lunch. Fantastic. Okay. Well, lots to discuss, but I know you're busy there, so we'll get through this as quickly as we can. And of course, lots of progress since the IPO last year. Can we start with the latest or the most recent news, of course, from the ESSA property, which is situated very close to the famous Hemlo gold mine? Some really good soil sampling results there announced a few days ago.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway point from the press release, Alan, is the fact that historically we have believed that there is this inferred structure shear at ESSA, which transects the property, which has been highlighted on our neighbour's side to the west with gold anomalous samples, and also to our east. When we reprocessed the mag data and had that interpreted by PGW, this structure stood out even more so. So we conducted this nearly 500 sample soil program orthogonal to this structure, this shear, and those are the results we're recently publishing. And they have proved that not only is the concept valid, it's geochemically valid, shall we say. So we had a geophysical anomaly. We believed it was analogous to a geological anomaly, a shear, and now geochemically it's come back with not only anomalous gold but also some other important pathfinder elements, not the least of which is molybdenum, which I'm sure all your listeners are aware. Molybdenum is one of the main extra elements of the Hemlo gold mine. It's not a normal associate of orogenic gold mines, but it is in the Hemlo belt. So yes, we're pretty enthused about the results so far.
Superb. So, of course, just the ESSA property is situated just south of your flagship property, which of course is the North Hemlo project. You've of course had the joint venture going on there with Palladium One. Are there any developments on that you can discuss with us?
Well, I can't really discuss more than the last press release, but again, I think the important takeaway points of the last press release, when put in conjunction with previous press release, realistically threefold, shall we say. One is that the latest results continue to show the potential of the nickel copper sulfides, but importantly and encouragingly, there's wider, lower grade, admittedly, but still interesting grades closer to the surface. So we've got wide, low-grade intersections near the surface. The other results they put out late last year indicate that there's deeper, higher grade, double-digit nickel copper sulfide equivalents at depth. It's open, and also the third important point is that hole 76 that they drilled in that embayment west of West Pickle Lake is very close to the 100% owned North Hemlo property of First Class. So we've got a growing, I won't say deposit at this stage, that's probably a bit premature as there's no resource on it, but we've got a growing discovery which is becoming more encouragement in its dimensions and its grade. And as I say, it's potentially spilling over onto our 100% owned section of North Hemlo. So it's very exciting. But let's not take away the importance of the Dead Otter Lake anomaly in the south of the property, where we reported a near 20-gram gold result earlier this year, which, as far as we're aware, is one of the highest grade gold grab samples ever produced in that North Hemlo limb. So we're excited about the Palladium 1 drilling, obviously, but we're also excited about getting out there and exploring the Dead Otter Lake trend.
Okay, just on that gold chip that from the grab sample, do you think that's comparable with the sort of head grades they'd be seeing, the team would be seeing at the actual Hemlo gold mine itself?
Well, that it's a higher grade than the head grade at
it's a higher grade.
But what I think is important about the Dead Otter Lake trend that we've proved is that the historic showing in the northwest was 3.5 grams gold, nearly 0.5% molybdenum. Here we have molybdenum cropping up again. And this grab sample that we took over 3 kilometers away along that defined trend has come up with nearly 20 grams. So obviously we will be focusing our work on this Dead Otter Lake trend this field season. But that's not to say that there isn't potential on the North Hemlo block. There's what's called the Dotted Lake Fair Service trend, which also comes onto our property, and that's a base metal rich trend, but it also has gold in it as well. So there's several fronts on which we will be exploring the North Hemlo block this coming field season.
Excellent. Just on to an announcement you also made recently. You entered another agreement with Nuensco Resources regarding a potential 9th property. Of course, that's the Zigzag lithium project. What can you tell us about that? I know obviously there's only so much about it in the public domain at the moment. What can you tell us about that, Mark?
Well, I can say it's an exciting agreement that we've signed. Exciting in as much as it's a hard rock lithium, and it's in a zone, a belt of known lithium occurrences. It's also not far from the Seymour Lake development, which will be a development hub. There's been very little historical work done on it. A few historical drill holes which had up to 2% lithium oxide in it. At this stage, it's been mapped over 800 meters, up to 20 meters wide in places. We will initially, our intention is to go into there and do some ground truthing of the actual outcrop, and then follow that up with sawn channel samples. This is where you get like a rock saw and you cut 2 slots, 50 mil apart, shall we say, and you chip out the material in between them, put them in a bag every meter, or when you have something changing geologically. And what's important is it's a very good way of assessing the surface outcrop as opposed to just chip and chiseling it. And also it's equivalent to a horizontal drill hole because it's almost a continual rock sample. So we will go in there and try and quantify the potential. In other words, on a regular, if we can, a regular cross section along the 800 meter strike, we will cut sawn channel samples across the width of the outcrop that we can identify. That will give us a feel for the distribution of the lithium along that 800 meters and better able to target drill holes drilling later in the season.
Fantastic. So there are so many others we could cover here today, Mark, but I know you're pressed for time. Just really to sum up now, can you provide a little bit of insight in regard to what investors can expect in the coming months from you, and also potential value inflection points too?
Well, I think you've sort of highlighted those earlier on in your introduction. Thank you, David. In that we have we look forward to ongoing work with Palladium 1 on the West Pickle Lake. Obviously, we look forward to further exploration work on the Dead Otter Lake trend, as well as the rest of North Hemlo. Further work on the ESSA. There's these intersecting north-south and northeast structures on that inferred shear, which I think could be the focus of some of the better potential mineralization. And also, of course, developing a drill target at the Sunbeam gold mine in the far west of our area. So, and as well bringing on Zigzag. So really you've got 4 areas of focus at this stage, which will be North Hemlo, ESSA, Sunbeam and Zigzag. And so we've got quite a lot going on. We will have 3 ground teams out there exploring in this month, in May, now that the thaws come and things are starting to dry out. So yeah, we'll be hitting the ground running this field season, and so watch this space.
Indeed. Well, obviously lots to look forward to in the middle of your busy exploration schedule. Mark, it just remains for me to say thank you very much for joining us today. Wish you every success at the show and, of course, for the rest of the year. Once again, thank you for joining us today. Marc Sale, Chief Executive of First Class Metals.
Thank you, Alan.